Hello everyone and welcome to second problem of parallel force system. Now in this problem we have to find resultant force. What we have to find? Resultant force and its point of application. So basically what we have to find? We have to find R, that indicates magnitude of resultant, and when I'm asking point of application, that means we have to find distance d. So at which point from any reference point this particular force is acting. Okay, so here you can see that various loads are given on the given beam. This beam starts from A and this beam is A to D, having total length of 8 meters, 3 plus 3 plus 2. Now here first you can see this load is acting. Initially you may find that this load is uniformly variable load, but during theory session I have already explained you that for uniformly variable load it's mandatory that it must start from zero. कभी भी यूनिफॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड लोड है देन इट मस्ट स्टार्ट फ्रॉम जीरो. ये जीरो से स्टार्ट होना चाहिए और वो ग्रेजुअली लीनियरली इंक्रीज होगा अप टू इट्स मैक्सिमम वैल्यू W, एंड देन ओनली आई कैन कॉल दिस लोड एज व्हाट? Uniformly variable load. Here you can see that load starts from 8 Newton meter and it gradually increases up to the 20 Newton per meter. Such type of load are called as trapezoidal load. This is called as what? Trapezoidal load. Okay, so that's first load. Second, you can see this moment, and third you can see one point load. Okay, now let us first figure out how to convert this trapezoidal load into point load. Again, during theory session I have already explained you that for any problem your first task will be to convert given type of loads into the point load. So what we'll do, we will try to convert this trapezoidal load into the point load. So let us see how. So here I have separately drawn this trapezoidal load, and here I'll draw parting line. This is basically a line which converts this trapezoidal load into this lower part. As you can see, it is UDL, uniformly distributed load, and now this upper part you can see it starts from zero, so you can call it as a UVL, that is uniformly variable load. So how to convert this to trapezoidal load? From the minimum load I'll draw one partition line, and that line will distribute this load into UDL and UVL. Okay, now what we'll do, we will separately find point load for each UDL and UVL. So first we will start with UDL, then I'm talking about this area. Okay, now here you can see that this is given as 8. Why? Because its magnitude is 8 Newton per meter. Okay, and here I'm drawing a rectangle, then it indicates that this will be again what? 8 Newton per meter. Okay, so you can find that this is UDL, uniformly distributed load, having magnitude of 8 Newton per meter and having length as 3 meters. Now what is the formula for conversion of UDL into the point load? Then magnitude will be equal to its area. Then what is area of this hatching surface, this rectangle? It is length into width. What is length? 3. So can I say that this is equal to W into L. Now what is W? W is equal to 8, and what is L? L is equal to 3. Then 8 into 3 is what? 24, and this is how I'm getting my first point load, equivalent point load of this UDL. I'm just solving UDL. I have calculated UDL ka equivalent point load. Now I have to locate it. So where it is located? For that you have to remember centroid ka part. Where is centroid of this rectangle is located? Then it is located at its geometric center. When total length is 3, its geometric center will be at what? 3 by 2. 3 by 2 is what? 1.5. Then you can see from point A, at distance of 1.5, this particular point load is located. So formula for conversion of UDL into point load: for magnitude it's W into L, and for its location it is L by 2. Now we will go for next part, and that is a part of UVL. So now we'll try to convert this UVL into the point load, that is uniformly variable load. Okay, now for that first we have to find its shape. Then you can see that this given shape is what? Triangle. Now here this total length is given as 20. Out of that, this length, as I said, is 8. Then this remaining will be how much? This remaining will be 12 Newton per meter. So you can find that this length is given as 12 Newton per meter. It's 12 Newton per meter. Okay, now we will go for finding its magnitude and location for equivalent point load. Okay, so first formula for magnitude of equivalent point load is what? So for that we have to again look at its area. Since this is a triangle, area of the triangle is what? Half into base into height. Okay, so this will be half into, what is base? Base is given as 3 and height is given as 12. So half into 3 into 12, and that will give you answer as what? 80 newtons. That is magnitude of the point load, that is equivalent of this UVL. Now next we will go for its location. Then for location we have to consider its CG. Okay, that is its centroid. Centroid of triangle is located at length L by 3 from its base. Remember, that is very important. This is apex and this is base. So from base it is L by 3. So here you can see that from base it is given at distance L by 3. What is L now? L is 3. So 3 by 3 is how much? 1. And as you can see, this is 1. Now this length I have already calculated as 1.5. This length I have calculated as 1. Then this remaining will be what? 0.5, because total length is given to me as 3 meters. So this is how I converted this trapezoidal load into 2-point load. Now this 2-point load I'll take here. You can see that A starting point, from then 1.5 meters and 24 Newton. So 24 Newton of force at 1.5 meters. Then 18 Newton of force at 0.5 meters, and then remaining part is same. So now in next step I'll go for finding the magnitude of the resultant. We know that summation of F will give me what? R. This is formula for the resultant of the parallel force system. So R is equal to summation of F. While calculating this, I'll assume that forces that are acting upward are positive, so downward forces will be negative. Okay, so starts from here. First force is 24 Newton, so minus 24, then 18 downward, so minus 18, and then 60 downward, so minus 60. And by solving this, I'll get answer as minus 102 Newton. And this minus sign indicates that the resultant is acting in downward direction. So in next step, I'll say that 102 Newton of force acting in downward direction. So first thing I have calculated, that is what? Magnitude of the resultant. Now I'll go for its location. So for location of the resultant force, I have to apply Varignon's theorem. Now to apply Varignon's theorem, first I have to find moment about any point. Randomly you can take any point. Let me start with point A. So I have considered point A. I'll take moment of all the forces about point A. Okay, then starts from here. Summation of MA is equal to, so which is very first force is 24 Newton. So here you can see this is 24 Newton, that is acting downward. So I have written 24 into, what is the formula for moment? It's force into perpendicular distance. So I have written force. Okay, do not consider sign right now, while I'll come to that. First is 24. Next is distance. When force is horizontal, I have to consider, when force is vertical, I have to consider horizontal distance, because it is force into perpendicular distance. So this force into perpendicular distance is 1.5. Now let us consider its direction. Then you can see that this 24 Newton will produce moment in clockwise direction. 3, 6, 9. It's producing moment in what? Clockwise direction. And here anti-clockwise moments are assumed as positive, so clockwise will be what? Negative. That's why I have put minus 24 into 1.5. That is moment produced by force 24 Newton. Next I'll go for moment produced by 18. So first I'll write 18. What is distance from this 18 Newton to point A? Then I have to consider this distance. It is 1.5 plus 0.5, that is equal to what? 2, then 18 into 2, and again this will produce moment in what? Clockwise direction. So I have considered it as negative. Next is third force, that is 60 newtons. Now here I have considered 60 newton, and then what is distance between point A and 60 newton? Then it is total distance, which is given to me as 3 plus 3 plus 2, that is equal to 8. So 60 into 8, and again this force will produce moment in what? Clockwise direction. Then I have considered it as minus 60. And last, very important, commonly this is very common mistake, so we forget to take this moment. So this is moment is given to me, you can see it's 50 Newton meter, it's directly moment given to me. So remember, no need to multiply it with distance, it is already in unit. You have to look at the unit, it's Newton meter, then it's already moment. Just have to consider this number, that is 50, but this is acting in anti-clockwise direction, then I have considered it as plus 50. With this, by solving this equation, I am getting answer of summation of MA as what? Minus 502 Newton meter. So can I say that 502 Newton meter in clockwise direction? Okay. Now I'll apply Varigno's theorem. What Varignon theorem suggests? That summation of moment produced by all the force is equal to moment produced by resultant. So what is summation of moment produced by all the forces? It's equal to 502 Newton meter in clockwise direction. So here I say, here I'm writing here, summation of MA is equal to summation of MR. What is summation of MA? You can see I have already calculated here. Minus 502 is equal to summation of MR, that is resultant into D. But here very important thing is sign. What sign I have to put here? Okay, for that first I have to assume location of R. Then let's say in this diagram I'll assume that this is a location of R, okay, and R is negative, it is acting in downward direction, so here I am giving downward arrow. So this is R. Then what will be the distance? Distance will be from point A. So from point A, this distance is nothing but what I am considering distance D. So now you can see this R force acting at distance D from point A is producing moment R into D, force into perpendicular distance. But look at its moment. So this is producing moment in which direction? It is producing moment again in what? Clockwise direction. And because of that, that is clockwise direction, I have to put minus sign over here. What I have to put? Minus sign over here. So that is minus R into D. Okay, so now minus minus will get cancelled out. This will be equal to 502 is equal to, what is value of R? R I have already calculated, it's 102 Newton. Okay, so 102 into distance D, and now you can see here this will give me answer as D is equal to 502 upon 102, and that will give me answer of D as 4.92 meters. Now we have to cross verify our assumption. We have assumed that force R is acting on the right hand side of point A at distance D, and I am getting answer as what? Positive. See, here I am getting answer as positive 4.92 meters. That shows that my assumption is right, and R is acting at distance D, that is equal to 4.92 meters from the point A. So what I have done, I have first calculated resultant R, magnitude of resultant R, and then I have located that resultant R with respect to point A, and then finally I write, hence the resultant has a magnitude of 102 Newton and direction is downward. Point of application of this force is 4.92 meters to the right of point A. So this is how you have to calculate resultant of the parallel force system. Thank you.